played Cameroon and Kenya, obviously. And your thoughts on the opponent in terms of the tactical and how do you intend to overcome them?
Yeah, I think obviously for Cameroon, they're a very good team, top 10 Africa. We've beat them once. They've beat us on a very small margin, also a goal that we can think about. So they're a very good team. They've qualified for the Nations Cup, and they will obviously have to come and want to score, settle the score. But yeah, as much as they are a good team, I think it's just very important for us to get our mentality right, our players' mind right, have them prepared properly mentally. Because I think that even if we are out of the competition, we still brave warriors. It's still about national pride. It's still about these young players here to be exposed. It's still for them to have good games, and through good games, you put yourself in the spotlight. You get in the spotlight. You're able to get out of Namibia and make a living for yourself, just like others did. Brasileira, Process Peters, Kulula, them. So there's a lot to play for, definitely.
Looking at, okay, obviously there's good news that came through this week as far as the local league is concerned, but we are not yet there. Any concerns regarding fitness of the squad that you have?
If we just to take everything a little bit away and we just go into the facts. Yes, I'm saying that we take full responsibility of our matches that we didn't have, but didn't play as good as we thought we should. But if we don't get playing time for these boys, it's gonna be difficult for them. If you just take an example of Gero Katua, for example, is going to play against Carlos Baleba of Cameroon. The last time they played against each other in September, until now, Carlos Baleba probably played over 18 matches now with his club, with the national team. And if we can count Gero's matches, Cameroon 2 in September, 2 in October, now 1. He played 6 matches since the time they met, and we want him to compete against him. He's a lion, Gero. He's going to compete. But the playing fields are not equal, and that's why I'm saying it's we are at a disadvantage. We're not crying, but all I'm saying is that we have to look at that. And I'm so happy, and I have to applaud not only the Namibian Football Association, but MTC through the MTC Maris subsidiary to have come on board. And I think, in all honesty, Namibian corporate is leaving us in the desert. They're just looking at, we need to play more for these boys. These boys need more playing time, more competition. And those are the things that if we tackle those, we can get to the core of why the national team is not taking the next step.
Coach, my next question, before I give the floor to the colleagues, my next question is more onto self-reflection. As the head coach thus far, where are we with the project, and what do you want to achieve in a shortest time and also in long term?
I think the process that we're going through is absolutely normal. It's absolutely normal in the sense that when we took the team, we could, apart from the COSAFA finals that we could reach in the short time, we qualified for this African Nations Cup. Under abnormal circumstances, and now we're still in those abnormal circumstances, and we're looking for normal outcomes, which is obviously not going to be. It's not that easy. So I think that we're exactly there where we are. If you look at now the matches that we played, we're also in the transition period. There's players that retired from the national. There's players that reached their zenith. There's players that basically also not up to par anymore. So now we have to have a transition period where we're bringing in new younger players. And these younger players are coming from the local league. And if the local league is not active, it's going to be a gap between the ones that we have and the ones that we're trying to bring in. So now that gap needs a lot of patience. It needs lots of matches. Lots of matches is where I'm saying Namibia has to come into it. I think the Namibian Football Association is really doing their best to keep these national teams, the Gladiators, the under-20s, they're all playing the competitions. They're playing these competitions outside. they're doing their part. But I just think that we all know that the FA is not an association, or it's not an entity that has revenue, that creates revenue. So it's a national team, it belongs to the nation, and it belongs to Namibia. So Namibia has to come to the party in supporting this transition in these players to come at that level where we can actually really compete. I think we're in a good space, but we need time for that.
Well, talking of the World Cup, I guess the AFCON 2025 is now what under the bridge. The World Cup and how you intend on approaching the qualifiers, knowing that the final match of the World Cup qualifiers will be against Tunisia, and obviously Tunisia are leading by on 10 points, we're on 8 points. Liberia, I think, is third on 7 points or 6. How would you want the corporate world, to rally behind? And the government, because everybody says that the associations world over says that national teams do not belong to the associations, they belong to government. So what should be that proactive role of the public sector, including the corporate sector?
Firstly, I think we're really in a good position to actually get that far, being second in the table behind Tunisia. So what we're doing now from our side is that we're trying to get these players now in a space where we can actually then compete in March. So we need game time for them. And at the same time, you look at corporate to come through. The Namibian Football Association doesn't have money. There's actually even issues now of us probably going now to South Africa to go on these matches. There's issues. It might be players not being paid, but it's things that the association is doing in silence, and they have to do their part. But corporate Namibia, if we are able to say we are closing off the street, because we were watching the Brave Warriors during AFCON at their highest, why don't we also support them now when they actually now trying to fight? A small example, I'm saying, if the city of Windhoek can close off the street and show publicly how the Brave Warriors are doing in Ivory Coast, and at the same time we don't even look at the Semioma Stadium where the association cannot play first division, second division matches, then I think there's an imbalance. So we can support when they're up there, but down there we're not doing anything. And I think these are some of the things that we have to look at to get to the core problem of what is happening then in Namibian football. But I'm still saying at the same time, these players association, they're doing their part. Peter Shalulile played last week against a team, and he had 90,000 people watching him. He scores a goal, he's on top of his game, and now Namibia, we're asking of him to bring the same intensity, the same moral, the same effectivity and confidence into a match where he's going to play in front of nobody. So now that is a little bit unfair, and I think the strength of the crocodile still lies in the river, and that's what we have to look at and saying this is abnormal situations that we had now the 5 years, and we looking past it and saying no, this is normal. We have to look at it. So I think as a country, whether it's you, everybody a stakeholder, everybody that actually has a say on how the Brave Warriors perform, you have to come to the table and say, listen, this is my part, this is what I'm going to do, and not leave everything up to the association, to these players. And I think that's unfair, and that's what we have to look at if we're going to look at taking the next step for the national team, the Brave Warriors, which is basically our pride. It is the firstborn of this child, of this country, and we have to take care of them. We have to look at them, not only when they are up, basically also when they need your help, and we need your help most definitely now.
Ronnie Canalero is signing for the technical team. Talk to us about the composition of your technical team.
The conversation on that is very simple. Ronnie Canalero, of course, already when I got him in, he had said no, he needs a break, but I asked him to come on after the Nations Cup. It was also his idea to go off, because he wants to concentrate on a few other things also in a personal capacity. And I think he's done his work for the country over, 30 years. And I think we applauded him. He's still one of my best friends. We have good conversations. We talk to each other on a regular basis. and I wish him all the best.
And the replacement?
Fabian Tregas with us now also since the Nations Cup. He's doing a really good job. He's got plenty of experience in German setup. Worked together at 1860 Munich. He's in Colombia. He's got a South American experience that he's bringing with. He's helping us tremendously in the match analysis, video analysis, and as a coach, assistant coach now, he's doing a great job. But also at the same time, it's also now for us. That's why we have Coach Dudes Mwedianga assisting us here. We had Coach John Sikerete and Katina Mwandi doing the chant team, and that's the way we're trying to look at how we can create capacity and also see what is the best combination and the best setup that we can have for the Brave Warriors to take the next step.
The team is leaving on Sunday. Any friendly matches that are lined up?
No, there's no time. We're playing on Wednesday against Cameroon, and then we just got the news now that we're playing on Tuesday against Kenya and Polokwane, not in Uganda. So there's no time. We have to make use of this what we have. So we're going to have a session on Monday afternoon with hopefully with the rest of the team. But you also know the South African-based guys are playing on the weekend, so a day after the match is not really what that you can do much. So on Tuesday, match day -1, that's when we're going to have basically the full team. But those are not excuses. We're going to prepare as good as possible. We're going to make things as difficult as possible for Cameroon. We're going to be concentrated. We're going to be without compromises in our defense, and then we're going to have to take those chances. And I think if you look at the matches that we played before, we had plenty of chances. It's just that getting that ball into the net and something that we're going to work on, and that I think we analyzed, and the players are very aware of it. And we're Brave Warriors, and we're going to go on, we're going to move on. You know, these kind of situations where we are, personally for me as a coach or as a person, I always had to fight for everything. Always had to fight for everything. Go with 20 years to Germany, and you stay for 20 years there, and you do everything that is possible to do. You don't give up, you fight, and that's what we're going to do, and that's what I'm going to put in our players. We're going to keep on fighting with Brave Warriors. Doesn't matter what is against us or who is against us, we're going to go through that. I have more than ever actually so much appetite to take this rebuilding process on, and looking forward to it.
One last question. You've touched, because your journey is very long, including the World Cup qualifiers, and you touch on the issue of salaries and stuff like that. How demotivating is discouraging is that? Of course, the FA has been rocked with issues of non-payment when players are needing their national duties. How discouraging is that?
No, we have to also look at it where I'm saying that this is an organization that is not for gain. We get funds from FIFA, and playing away depletes all these funds. So now these players that we have, it's patriotism. They play without this. They know its problems. Dion Horto is gonna be on Monday. Bobby tonight is gonna call me, hey coach, when do I report? Chalulile, Hanamu, Kadapa, we can name all of them. They full on board with this. All I'm saying is the association and those players are doing everything that they can do. And the players are also aware that through the national team it's a platform that they have to be able to use soccer as a place where they can actually earn some money. And apart from what we have now, the bad results, this and that everybody's talking about, if we look at Aprocius Pietrus, was actually a left back. We converted him into a centre midfield. He plays a sterling role at the Nations Cup. Cape Town City takes him with Prince Ueda. Erastus Kulula, Blue Waters, nobody knows about him and what he's capable of. He plays a few Kosafa games, really good. Romeo Kasume, and they get these offers. They told them go to Kosovo, this to in Cape Town, and we have Shipe with Triple C in Georgia. It's through the national team, so the national team is adding value. They're doing their part, and they're doing it really good. And those players are the players that's going to form the core of the national team. The future captain of this national team is around those players, and we're building the team also around those players. So they are very aware of that the national team is the place, the platform that they can play and go out to the country, and whether they paid and they have been not paid for this and that, they know that eventually they will be paid, but this is the platform that they're using to better themselves and to better the Namibia. Imagine if us as a Namibian nation can actually have 20 full-time professionals playing out there. And if we give countries like Tunisia and Ghana really problems in our play now with non-activity, what if we is really active? So I'm saying that we are the good way, we're going to keep on fighting. The crocodile has to play at home in the river. Go to Rundu, you will never fight a crocodile in the river. But you have more chance of killing that crocodile if it's out of the river. So we out of the river, abnormal, we have to get into the river. So I think corporate Namibia, what if corporate Namibia, 10 companies actually say, I'm gonna do the stairs, I'm gonna do the VIP room, I'm gonna do the field, I'm gonna do the Independence Stadium. Don't you think we're able to get to a place where we say the Namibian national team can play at the Independence Stadium? If African Stars and Chula Chula can attract 25,000 supporters, what is the national team able to do at home? Let's look at, for example, guys, Malawi. Malawi has a GDP of around 10 million. Namibia has around 12 million. But Malawi has a population of 20 million. Namibia 3 million. And Malawi can get out in a space of 6 months not playing their matches in South Africa, and we still playing our matches in South Africa 5 years afterwards. It's not the soccer problem. It's not a coaching problem. It's not really a player's problem. We have a Namibian problem. And Namibia is just looking and watching. That is the problem, and that's what we have to address. We have to come to the party, guys, Namibia. Thank you very much.
Question.